Today we are going to discuss boundaries of posterior triangle. But before discussing the boundaries of posterior triangle, I have drawn this diagram showing some muscles. This is trapezius muscle. This muscle is sternocleidomastoid muscle. And this muscle is omohyoid muscle. This is superior belly of omohyoid muscle and this is inferior belly of omohyoid muscle. Let us discuss origin and insertion of these muscles. First of all, sternocleidomastoid muscle. As you can see in the diagram, sternocleidomastoid muscle originates from the supralateral part of the manubrium sternum, superior surface of the medial 1/3 of the clavicle. This muscle is inserted on the lateral surface of the mastoid process. This is mastoid process. So this muscle is inserted on the lateral surface of the mastoid process as well as superior knuckle line, lateral half of the superior knuckle lines. Sternocleidomastoid muscle is innervated by spinal accessory nerve. Now let's talk about its action. When one muscle contracts, it basically turns the chin towards the opposite side. And also when one muscle contracts, it is also involved in the side bending of the neck. When both side muscles act, they basically draw the head forward, as in eating and lifting the head from the pillow. Sternocleidomastoid muscle is also involved in the force inspiration. Now let us discuss about the trapezius muscle. I have drawn posterior view showing the trapezius muscle. As you can see in the diagram, trapezius muscle originates from the external occipital protuberance, superior knuckle line, C7 to T12 spinous processes. Trapezius muscle is finally inserted on the upper lip of the spine of scapula, acromion process of the scapula, as well as lateral 1/3 of the clavicle posterior border. Trapezius muscle is innervated by spinal accessory nerve. This muscle is omohyoid muscle. Omohyoid muscle has two bellies, superior belly and inferior belly. Omohyoid muscle originates from the superior border of the scapula near the suprascapular notch, and this muscle is finally inserted on the hyoid bone. Posterior triangle is present on the side of the neck, just posterior to the sternocleidomastoid muscle. As you can see in the diagram, that anteriorly posterior triangle is bounded by the posterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Posteriorly posterior triangle is bounded by the anterior border of trapezius muscle. And inferiorly posterior triangle is bounded by middle 1/3 of the clavicle. Inferior belly of the omohyoid muscle divides the posterior triangle into occipital triangle and lower supraclavicular triangle. Roof of posterior triangle is formed by skin, then comes superficial fascia, and deep to the superficial fascia is the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. I have drawn posterior triangle and different structures that are present in the superficial fascia of the roof of the posterior triangle. So posteriorly trapezius muscle is present, anteriorly sternocleidomastoid muscle is present, and inferiorly middle 1/3 of the clavicle is present. As we know that outermost layer is of skin, then comes superficial fascia, then comes investing layer of deep cervical fascia. Okay, with yellow color I have shown investing layer of deep cervical fascia, and superficial fascia over the deep fascia contains 4 cutaneous nerves. These are lesser occipital nerve, greater auricular nerve, transverse cervical nerve, and supraclavicular nerves. These 4 cutaneous nerves basically pierces the deep fascia and becomes superficial. Superficial fascia over the roof of the posterior triangle also contains external jugular vein. So with blue color I have shown external jugular vein. So these are the structures that are present in the superficial fascia of the roof of the posterior triangle. Apart from these structures, superficial fascia also contains some arteries that are derived from occipital artery, transverse cervical artery, and suprascapular artery, and some lymph vessels which basically pierces the deep fascia and end in supraclavicular lymph node. They are also present in the superficial fascia. Floor of the posterior triangle contains three muscles. These are splenius capitis, levator scapulae, and scalene medius muscle. So one by one we are going to discuss origin, insertion of these muscles forming the floor of the posterior triangle. In this diagram I have shown some muscles forming the floor of the posterior triangle. So first of all, let us discuss scalene medius muscle. Scalene medius muscle originates from the transverse process of C2 to C7 vertebrae. I have drawn cervical vertebrae bodies, and on the sides I have drawn transverse processes. So you can see in the diagram that scalene medius muscle originates from the transverse process of C2 to C7 cervical vertebrae, and this muscle is finally inserted on the first rib. Again, this is a posterior view showing cervical vertebrae bodies, then comes thoracic vertebrae bodies. On the sides I have drawn transverse processes. As you can see in the diagram that levator scapulae muscle originates from the transverse process of upper four cervical vertebrae. First, second, third, fourth cervical vertebrae transverse process, and levator scapulae muscle is finally inserted on the medial border of the scapula. Splenius capitis muscle. Splenius capitis muscle originates from the ligamentum nuchae as well as spinous processes and supraspinous ligaments of T1 to T3, and this muscle is finally inserted on the occipital bone between the superior and inferior knuckle lines. So we can see in the diagram that floor of the posterior triangle is formed basically by these three muscles: scalene medius, levator scapulae, and splenius capitis muscle. So we have seen that posterior triangle is bounded anteriorly by sternocleidomastoid muscle, posteriorly by anterior border of trapezius muscle, inferiorly by middle 1/3 of the clavicle. Floor of the posterior triangle is formed by three muscles. These are levator scapulae, scalene medius, and splenius capitis. So these three muscles, they are present in the floor of the posterior triangle. Roof of the posterior triangle is formed by skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia. So superficial fascia contains platysma muscle, external jugular vein, and also for cutaneous nerves that we have discussed before. These are supraclavicular nerve, greater auricular nerve, transverse cutaneous nerve, and lesser occipital nerves. There are also some arteries that arise from the occipital and also transverse cervical arteries. Lymph vessels also are present in the superficial fascia that basically pierces the deep fascia to end in the supraclavicular lymph node. So these are the boundaries of the posterior triangle. External jugular vein is present in the roof of the posterior triangle just below the platysma muscle. As you can see in the diagram that external jugular vein is formed by the union of posterior auricular vein and retromandibular vein. Posterior auricular vein and retromandibular vein unite to form external jugular vein. External jugular vein then descends and finally crosses the sternocleidomastoid muscle obliquely. Then it pierces the deep fascia and opens into the subclavian vein. Following are the tributaries of external jugular vein. As you can see in the diagram that external jugular vein receive the bloods from the posterior external jugular vein, transverse cervical vein, suprascapular vein, anterior jugular vein. Anterior jugular vein, we have already discussed its course in our previous lecture. Anterior jugular vein that passes behind the sternocleidomastoid muscle and joins the external jugular vein through the jugular venous arch. So this dotted line shows the jugular venous arch. So posterior external jugular vein, Transverse cervical vein, suprascapular vein, and anterior jugular vein are the tributaries of external jugular vein.